You are watching Melody Lane. With me, you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Well, hello there, everyone. It's Holly with Melody Lane Inspired, and today we're gonna make this fun flamingo project because, we can never get enough flamingos in our life. Never enough flamingos. And I love this saying. So we're gonna do the full tutorial on this, and this, guys, is a super easy project. It's only gonna take 2 mats. So if you're just starting out, this would be a great project to start with. We are gonna walk you through designing the project, cutting the project, and then applying the project. Now we are also using on this products from the Berry Blast mystery box that Cricut had come out about a month ago. So we're going to use the premium vinyl in fuchsia in this, and then we're also going to be using this beautiful unicorn-like holographic pink first vinyl. Up, we are going to design that project in Design Space. So first, in the top left corner, hit New, and that's going to give you a blank canvas. Then I just go into Images and I search Flamingo. So now I'm just going to search until I find the flamingo that I think will work best for my project. And I do want to mention the little green A that you see, that means those images are part of Cricut Access. So if you're Cricut Access member, you get access to these and 200,000 other images for free. If you're not Access, there will be a fee, usually around 99 cents per image. Now after you choose the flamingo you want, you will click that, and then you're going to hit Add to Canvas in the bottom right corner. Now I want to make the flamingo bigger, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into the corners there, and at each corner you can go ahead and drag and pull it out, as you see me doing there. If I extend my mouse a little further on that corner, it'll show a rotation thing, like a curved arrow. That's going to allow you to rotate your image if you needed to do that. I didn't need to do that here, but I did want to share that. Now I'm wanting to change the color of my flamingo, so I'm going to go up here and select whatever color I like. It doesn't mean you have to cut it this color. You could cut it purple, whatever you want, but this is just for your reference. I wanted to slice a tropical flower out of my flamingo here, so I just went back to Images on the left, and I'm searching tropical flowers, and I'm looking for a design that I think would slice nicely through the flamingo. Click on the image you want, and then Add to Canvas, and then that will bring that in. So now I'm just sizing it, and here I'm rotating it. As you see that little curved arrow in the corner, that's allowing me to turn it. And then I'm just going to size it how I want. Then I'm going to select the flower, hit Shift, hold the flamingo, and hit Slice down in the bottom right corner. You could also just take your mouse and then drag it over both the items you want to slice and then hit Slice. That'll work also. Or you can go in the Layers panel on the right and then click what you want with Shift and Slice. But remember, you can only slice through one item at a time. If you have something grouped, you're going to need to ungroup it before slicing. Now we are sliced through, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull out these pieces. I'm deleting that one. I pulled the other flower to the side just because I may use it later on. Now let's talk about text. Now, if you start writing as soon as you click on the text box, it allows you to just change the text instantly. However, if you click off and then want to change the words, you're going to have to go up, and then all you have to do to change the text now is just double click on it. You will see it turn blue, and that means you can go ahead and change the text. Now you can go ahead and choose whatever font you would like. In the upper left is the font, so it's a drop-down menu. Go ahead and choose that, and then you're going to go ahead and find whatever font calls out to you. That is seriously the hardest part sometimes. I don't know about you guys, but I spend a ridiculous amount of time on picking fonts. Up at the top, you'll see Cricut, System, and Bookmarks. So the Cricut is going to be all the Cricut fonts. System is going to have what you have in your computer. And then Bookmarks was added in a recent update, which I absolutely love. So if you find a font you love, go ahead and hit the little flag next to it there on the right, and that is going to allow you to bookmark it, which makes it so much easier when you have a list of your favorite fonts to go through. I decided to go with this one. I went with the BFC Caramel Cake Pop. I always like when I do different words to be in different fonts. I just think it looks better that way. And then so I'm just going to adjust it to however I need it. Now go ahead and click on each 3 lines of your font while holding Shift. And then at the top, you're going to choose Align and then Center horizontally. And then that is going to go ahead and make sure those are all centered for you. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take my mouse, drag it across all of these, and then I'm going to hit attach in the bottom middle there. That's going to make it so when I cut it, it's all on one sheet. And I decided I'd much rather dot my I with a flower, so that's what I'm going to do. So all I have to do is go into Shapes, grab a circle, make that circle bigger than the dot I'm getting out, and then I'm just clicking that, holding Shift, and then slicing, and now I'm just deleting the items that I cut. Now that leaves room to dot it with a flower. I thought maybe I'd use the hibiscus at first, but when I looked at it, the hibiscus was too little and detailed to dot the I, so I went back to the tropical flowers and found this one, which I think will work perfect for this. Now don't forget to attach that flower, that way it cuts in the perfect place. So you're just going to choose the flower, shift, and then the rest of the words there and hit attach. I don't know about you, but I thought Mr. Flamingo needed an eye, so I just went to shapes again, chose the circle, sized it, and then I clicked the circle, shift with the flamingo, and then I hit slice again, and now I'm just deleting out the pieces that I cut. And voila! He's got an eye now. I feel much more comfortable with that. And now we are ready to cut our design. Now for this cut, I'm going to be using the Cricut Premium Vinyl, and this is in the fuchsia color. Now I've cut my vinyl down to the size I need. I'm just going to go ahead and lay this across, and I'm using my hand to smooth it, and you want to push it in one direction because you don't want to get any bubbles in it. Some people like to apply it from the center and work outward. I find it better to work from one side and then go across. I also like to use my brayer to go over it in one direction to smooth it down. As you can see, the top light on the left is blinking. That is the load button. So we're going to go ahead and load it. Once the light in the middle is the go right there is lit up, then we hit go and then off it goes. Now we're going to speed this up a little bit and use some magic. Now we see the load light is blinking again. That means our project is finished cutting and we can go ahead and unload it. Now we got to get the vinyl off of the mat. This is my preferred method. I like to flip it over and then take my hand and smooth it down. You can also take it from the front and bend the mat back and pull it off if you like. That's just a matter of preference. So now we're going to cut the holographic vinyl. So when you go to cut this in Design Space, it has you choose your material. So this one is holographic vinyl. When you choose the right material, that tells the machine how deep to actually cut it for that material. Now we didn't have to change blades for this because it'll also tell you what blade you need when you choose your material. This was just the fine point blade. When that light's blinking again, it means it's finished. So I'm going to go ahead and unload it again, take it off the mat, and now it's time to do some weeding. So I take my little Cricut weeding tool here, or as I like to call it, the dentist tool. I like to start by sticking it through at an angle just to separate the vinyl from the transfer. Now when you're pulling the vinyl, you want to make sure it goes straight across it. So not up at an angle, but pull it straight across. Make sure, especially with your little letters, that you're watching as you go. And it gets easier to work after you cut some away. So here I'm just going to cut some away. That way I don't have this vinyl sticking to me as I'm trying to do the rest. I'm going to get all the big pieces in, and then I'm going to go ahead and work on the little pieces. So this is like the centers of the letters here. So again, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up and use some magic on it. If only I could really weed that fast, it would be awesome. I don't know what you guys do with your little scraps as you weed. Sometimes I stick them on the table. Sometimes I stick them to my hand. It honestly just depends on my mood at that moment. And there we go. That is the finished vinyl after weeding. Now we're going to go ahead and take the Cricut transfer tape. I went ahead and cut a piece similar in size here, and I'm going to smooth this over just like if I was laying my vinyl on the mat. I'm working in one direction, pushing it down, because you don't want to get bubbles in this either, because that is what your vinyl is sticking to that it's going to transfer to your project with. Make sure here that it is free of bubbles. If you need to, you can go ahead and take the scraper and push the bubbles to the nearest edge. Now I like to flip it over and go ahead and take my scraper and press that on. That is going to press the vinyl down onto the other side of the transfer tape. And you want to move that in one direction, not going back and forth. If you go back and forth, that could just push any bubbles you have around in there. Now, on to weeding our next part. Now this is a very simple design here. So we're going to pull back the big part of it. And then we're just going to have to go in to weed out the little parts of the hibiscus flower there and his eyeball. And then that will finish off the weeding for the project. We're going to also put this on transfer tape just like we did the last design. Isn't that not sparkly and pretty though? Now to put it on that transfer tape. So we're doing the exact same thing here. Going to put it on and work in one direction to go ahead and push it across. And then guess what we're ready for? The final step. That's right, we are going to apply the vinyl. Now, funny story, when I cut this, I originally planned to put this on another canvas that was black and white, but I had measured it previously and I had the measurements wrong. So I cut these and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't gonna fit. This is too big. But I had my wooden project tray right next to me. So I was like, perfect, I can decorate my project tray. Now, I will say we're applying vinyl to wood here. So the rougher the wood is, the harder time you're going to have to apply the vinyl. The smoother the wood, the better. However, you can use iron-on and HTV, and that goes on the rough wood actually really well. So I stuck my vinyl down going in one direction there, and I'm just making sure it's pushed down and that I don't see any bubbles in it. I like to take my scraper too and then go ahead and scrape over it, and that helps to push it down. If you see any bubbles in this, you're going to want to go ahead and push the bubbles to the nearest edge. And then go ahead and peel slowly, just like we did on the vinyl earlier. So I'm pulling it straight up here, or straight across, not up. You don't want to pull it up at a 90 degree. You'll want to pull it across. Watch as you go. That way, if any of your little pieces stick, you can go ahead and take and rub those and make sure those stick down. All right, Mr. Flamingo is done, so now we're going to move on to the words. Now, I did choose some font in this that are smaller. Now, remember, when I planned on doing this, I was putting it on a black, smooth canvas. Now, this is wooden, so it's got some wood edges to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over this again with my scraper to get it stuck to the transfer paper as good as I can, and then peel that back just as I did before. We peel it just like we do the vinyl, so we're going to peel across it. Again, you have those little pieces, so watch as you go. That way, if any of them are not sticking to the transfer tape, right there I had a little piece not stick, so I just went over it with my finger, and voila! There is our piece. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did to the flamingo. We're going to place this down, smooth it over, check for any bubbles. I'm going to take the scraper to it. As you see with the scraper, I am pushing in one direction. That is because if we go back and forth on it and there's a bubble in there, again, it's just going to move that bubble back and forth. So pushing it to the nearest edge is your best idea. So as I'm peeling this, I'm just making sure these letters are sticking as we go. And that's it, guys. We finished. Isn't it pretty? I love the reflections on the holographic, and it's a perfect project tray to put my pieces in, which I like to use when I do a project to keep all of your little cut pieces in one area. That way you don't lose any of them. So thank you guys for watching, and if you are new with a Cricut, do not be scared to start. Just go ahead and try. We all learn from our mistakes, and there's plenty of videos out there to help you. We have tons of videos on our YouTube at Melody Lane that can help you, and all the projects that you see us make are available to our Patreon supporters. So we have over 1,100 different projects that are ready to make, and you get access to that for as little as $2 a month. Not only that, you get access to our 24/7 craft Zoom so you can craft with friends around the world while you're safe in your home. Many friendships have been made in that craft Zoom, and some of the ladies even go on vacations together. And I'm talking, we have people in Germany, like all over. So definitely something you want to check out. But as always, thank you to our awesome admins and supporters and sponsors. If you enjoyed this video today, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye.